Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It's Tuesday morning. It is October 28th, and it's 2:41 in the a.m. October 28th. Where does the time go? I just, this year has just, it's been a blur. That's how fast it's been moving. Anywho, yesterday, yesterday I left work early because I had some lab work that I've been putting off for forever. I believe it was due in late May, early June, just not getting around to it. And I'm sure it's much to the dismay of my primary care and my endocrinologist. You guys know I have type 1 diabetes, but for the most part, my numbers are manageable. I tried this holistic remedy that my sister used to reverse her type 2 diabetes. Her doctor took her off insulin. She started this journey in let's say September maybe, and 90 days later. No, it couldn't have been September if it's 90 days. Anywho, about 90 days, she started this thing and reversed her diabetes, and now she's no longer required to take insulin and is holding steady. Type 1 is a little bit different, and the only thing that this holistic treatment did for me was irritate and aggravate me and my numbers. So just didn't work. And the difference between type 1 and type 2 can be reversed with diet, exercise, and like my sister, this holistic treatment. Type 1, you're insulin dependent because your pancreas has stopped working. And I didn't get diagnosed until late in life, so I believe they refer to that as 1.5. Anywho, so I'm in the lab waiting area, and these older women came in. Now you're kind of held hostage in this open room until they call you in the back for the blood draws, and then the blood draws are like various windows that you step up to. It's kind of like the DMV or the unemployment office, if you've ever had to experience those. You go through these phases of numbers to check in, and another phase of numbers to get your lab work done. Now, to check in, cute system. To check in, there's a male voice that tells you now serving, and to go to the lab, there's a female voice, and the numbers on the screen are pink and blue. Cute little system. That's not here nor there. I was held captive and ear hustling and being nosy on a conversation between two older women and an older gentleman. Now, the older women, it was mother and daughter, and I was sitting in a seat, and they came in, and there were no two seats together. So I said, would you like to sit next to your friend, ma'am? And I got up, and I just took another seat. And she corrected me, this is my mother. Okay, no problem. I didn't need to know that, but okay. So they sat next to one another. And they see a gentleman, and they call out to him. I want to tell the prospective age of the women, though. The sister that I spoke to, that I addressed, had to be around my age, maybe older. because I heard her mother's birthday when she was checking in. And she was born in 1939, which makes her mom, what, 86? Okay. 85? 85. So, yeah, I let that go. So they're chit-chatting back and forth about various and sundry things. Well, who gonna watch her kids? You know, old folks talk. Then they see this gentleman that they know, and the sister that I spoke to made it a point to call this brother out. Brother so-and-so. Now the greeting let me know they're church folk. Brother so-and-so, brother so-and-so, hi. Now, brother so-and-so could not pick this woman out in a police lineup if she was the only person in it. I could tell by the level of conversation and how he addressed her. Oh, hi, yeah, look at you. How you doing? And they began to discuss some various and sundry things about church. But the thing that tickled me was every time brother so-and-so disassociated, and I say disassociated because he was checked out. Every time he checked out of the conversation, he was a little hard of hearing too, so that made it easy for him to check out. But visually, you could see him leave the conversation. So every time he checked out, the mother and daughter would look at one another, and then they called him to the back. As soon as that brother got out of sight, those two sisters tore into his character like he was roadkill and they were hungry coyotes. They talked about how drunk he was. Yeah, I want to say the brother was a little inebriated because he could barely stand. And when he was standing, his balance was a little off. Now, it could have been age, but the eau de perfume let me know these sisters were very accurate. So they chopped him up, man. You know, don't nobody want to ride with him. He drives so bad. I should have just told him to go home and go to sleep. But no, that's none of my business. And it went on and on and on and on. Then he comes out of the back. So they carry on the conversation a little further. And old brother so-and-so, I guess, was in some form of ministry. So they asked him how the ministry was going. And he went into this conversation of self-aggrandizement and made it even more comical for me. And the reason that it was comical for me is because this is how I came up. You know, when you hear me talk about church, you got to say it like that too when you're older. Church. You know, and I talk about that level of church. And I said, I will tell you flat out, the only thing I learned from that level of church was judgment. And I learned how folks really see you in the love of Christ. Yeah, and you know, I need to say this. It's like, for me, there's nothing wrong with characterizing somebody as their character presents. But to say you love them and not correct that, to say you love them and not address that, to say you love them and say that's none of my business and let them go on their merry way unto the hell that you're going to condemn them in, and that they may already be living in, that's a whole different subject. Anywho, my man, when I say he went into, you know, patting himself on the back, you know, talking about his level of ministry, before he stepped in, nobody was getting saved. And my question in all that conversation and all that yak and watching that demonstration, I want to pose the question, saved unto what? What's the salvation for? How is the salvation manifested? And what do you do once they demonstrate that they're saved? Oh, the old saints. And, you know, I am fast becoming one of them. So I have to watch myself. There's a lot of things that I will stand flat-footed on. And that's primarily injustice and racism. And people trying to give the gift of self-loathing. I will stand flat-footed calling out gaslighting and character assassination. You know, it's one thing to have the underpinnings of a relationship collapse on you, but it's another to engage in character assassination and not look at how you showed up in the relationship. You know, things don't happen in a vacuum. Some things we cause. Now, on that, I'm going to say amen.